Welcome to Realtree Global Hunting. We're back in Texas and it's coming towards the end of whitetail season. But we're not hunting trophy whitetail bucks here, we're hunting something a little bit different. What's on the plate tonight then?
Well, we're going to be after what we call management bucks. And here in Texas, what a lot of ranchers do is we like to manage our herds to get the healthiest deer we can and the better trophy bucks. And we do that by taking out these inferior deer. And what I mean by inferior, they have inferior genetics for their horn growth. And we've got a couple of long horn spikes out here. And they're 2.5-year-old deer, still have no bifurcation on their horns. And we want to take those out of the herd. And that's what you're going to be hunting tonight.
Perfect. Now we've seen from your trail cam pictures and also from some magnificent trophies you've got there in the lodge that there are some really nice bucks here. How important is the management process of selecting those bucks, feeding them and making sure they're well looked after to the quality of the trophy you get at the end of the day?
Oh, it's imperative. You have to do this. You have to keep your herd numbers in balance. You have to take the proper amount of does. You have to take these inferior bucks out. You need to leave the quality food for your trophy bucks. You don't want those inferior bucks breeding and passing on those genes. Otherwise, that's what you're going to produce is inferior racks. And so it is very imperative that we take those deer out, and now is the perfect time to do it.
And one of the things I hear across the world is that when it comes to deer management, patience is the most important thing. Being selective and allowing the bucks to grow through their growth phase and actually achieve their full potential. How much of a problem do you have with that here?
It can be a problem because you can see some very nice younger deer, and it's tempting to pull that trigger, but you've got to look at the deer's and body, not just the rack, and age that deer before you decide I'm going to pull that trigger. And that's how we get those trophy deer. And we watch them by our trail cameras we put up, and we are able to age them through that and know which ones we need to take and which ones we don't before we ever get to the point of getting our finger on that trigger. And
some of them you've seen for so long, they almost become members of the family. Now, as we were looking through some of your pictures the other day, they have nicknames, the ones that have been coming to the trail cams for a while. So you've got one in particular that you're keeping an eye on now. What's his name?
Bullwinkle.
Bullwinkle, right? Okay. So we're not allowed to shoot Bullwinkle, right? So how old is Bullwinkle, and how long are you going to leave him for?
Well, he is probably about a 4.5, maybe 5.5-year-old deer. Sometimes you want to take at that age, but he's not at his potential yet, and he just has some really good genetics. He's got some non-typical points. He's got a wide spread, so we want him to breed and pass those genes on some more.
So our job is to take out the smaller and inferior bucks to let Bullwinkle have his way with all of the does here.
That is correct.
Okay, well, it seems a little bit of a shame, but you know, if we have to. So what are the tactics we're going to use for taking these bucks?
Well, we have feeders that we set out, and we have our trail cameras showing us that they're pretty much coming in pretty regular to these feeders. They go off later in the evenings. We got out here early this afternoon. We're going to get you up in the stand, have you wait, and just, if you can be patient, they should show up later this evening.
Okay, so patience and be selective.
Correct.
And don't shoot Bullwinkle.
Please.
Okay, no problem. Well, I'll get in and I'll see you at nightfall.
Good luck, Ian.
Thank you.
We'll see you tonight.
I head up into the blind, excited at the prospect of seeing some beautiful whitetail deer. If there's as many here as Scott says, then we should see plenty. So we're in South Texas, and it's hot, very hot, and they've taken all the big bucks off this property. So there's a little bit of housekeeping to do, some tidying up. So what we've got to do is sit here and take a couple of bucks in particular. Not this year's young spikers, but last year's young spikers. There's a couple, there's two that are feeding in and around this area. Now they need to come out this year. Now there's 4 different senderos here, 4 different roads which head out into the bush. Two of them have feeders. Two of them, as you can hear behind me, they're just putting some corn down now, just draw the deer out. I've already seen from the trail cam footage that there's some really, really nice bucks been shot off this particular estate, and they take the management very seriously. So much in the same way as we do back home. What they tend to do here is leave the big bucks to proliferate once they've taken off the ones they want, and then they take the younger bucks out, you know, the yearlings, the spikers. But for now, sitting in this hide, it's like sitting in an oven. It's really hot even with that breeze coming through the window. And once again, it's all about patience.
As the sun begins to drop in the Texan sky and the temperature cools, the whitetail begin to move.
Okay, so this is not the buck we want. As you can see, this has spikes on top of it, so it's got 2 tines. The one that we're looking for has only one on each side that curl forward. So this is a young buck. You can see those little forks on the top of his antlers there. Only spikes are now legal to shoot here. He's still very handsome though. Whitetail, a very pretty deer. As you can see just underneath his tail there. The other side is a flash of white. Now when they run away, that tail points straight up in the air with a big white bright flash. One of the most soul-destroying sights in the world if you're a deer hunter is seeing that white flash as the deer springs off into the undergrowth. But it's a good sign that he's out. It means they're on the move. And here comes another one. This looks like a doe. And actually it's not. That's the spike we're looking for, so we're about to take. This is the guy. Okay. Our spike is 125 yards. Just gonna.
Our young spike hasn't kept us waiting long, and as soon as he turns broadside, I'm going to take the shot. However, with 2 bucks out there, it's even more important that we're still and silent. If we spook the other buck, our spike will surely bolt with him. At the moment, both seem unconcerned and at ease. I just need to wait for a shot to present itself. As both deer feed away from us slowly, all I can see is 2 white backsides and there's no shot available.
So I'm going to try and take a high shoulder shot. Anchor him and take him straight down. There's a lot of rattlesnakes out here in the desert, and it's warm enough that they're active at this time of year. As soon as he turns, I'm going to take the shot.
As they also cross paths, I need our young spike to stand clear of the young buck so as not to risk the bullet passing straight through and injuring the other.
Perfect. No, he's not.
As they begin to move apart, I sit, prepared to take my shot when presented. But still, our young spike refuses to turn broadside.
This is the second most annoying sign in the world. Deer feeding away from you. This is great. This is a good sign. Hopefully it'll come up to the buck. The other buck will turn.
After a little waiting and a lot of patience, the whitetail begin to feed back towards the blind.
No, just step forward. Okay, they're going to move in.
As they meander across one another, and several times the shot almost presents itself, time and time again.
Oh my god. They're like... Okay, you ready?
I can't risk the deer being too close together and putting the young buck in danger. Management is key on this ranch, and I'm not about to cause them any problems.
Just need that one out of the way. Ready? Okay.
My patience paid off, and finally a shot presents itself.
So So he's gone straight down, and that is exactly why we use a high shoulder shot, just as I explained. Took him literally 3 inches down from the hump of his shoulder, and that is an absolutely perfect result. The deer is on the driveway down there, not running into the bush. There's no danger of retrieving it with rattlesnakes or any other creatures. And I'll just double check the distance. 138 yards was the final distance for the shot, so really pleased, really happy. Nice humane dispatch. We got the exact animal that we were looking for, which doesn't happen too often. You know, more often than not you'll get a young buck come out like that, or maybe a doe. So it gives us an opportunity of taking exactly what we came for. I'm really pleased. Now we're going to sit here for a bit, just let everything calm down. And we'll go down once the sun's gone down. As you can see, the shadows are just lengthening here now. We'll go and collect our buck. But great shooting, and well worth the wait.
The loud shot ringing out across the ranch hasn't appeared to have scared the whitetail. Several young bucks and does make an appearance in the fading sunlight to feed all around us. The young buck feeding with our spike earlier on also reappears, although he doesn't seem too happy with seeing his feeding companion laying there on the ground.
My wife does that from time to time. Every time I say I'm going hunting, she does that very thing right there. Stamps her feet, storms off.
He has a good feed despite being clearly on edge, and eventually he's had enough, darting back into the bushes.
Happy.
Life continues as normal all around us, and as the sun just drops over the horizon, I make my way down to claim my young spike.
Yeah, we know he's out for the count, we've already seen that. But a handsome young buck. So here he is. This is a little fellow we were looking for. As you can see, kind of like a curved bladed spike, not enough to class as a point on one side, and then this kind of funky little spike on the other side. He was feeding along with one of his compadres, and he was crossing between each other. It was really, really difficult to get a shot, but we saw him on the game camera. We knew he was coming here. One of these feeders in here, one of these areas in here, and this is exactly what we've been set out to harvest. Now, as you saw, I went for a high shot in the shoulder. I'm just trying to find it. A high shoulder shot here, which took him straight down, took him straight off his feet, and hits the spine, anchors him in the spot. If we shoot him in the chest and he heads into the bush, then it's going to be a bit of a problem for us digging him out, especially seeing as we've let the light come down so it's low. You get in there, rattlesnakes, all manner of creatures are in there. The best thing we need to do, drop him on the spot. It's a harvest deer at the end of the day anyway, it's a cull animal. And here he is. So we've done our job. Now, I think I deserve a beer.
Another successful hunt and a critical management job executed perfectly. Tune in next week to Team Wild TV to see me hunting feral hogs in South Texas, Australian style, with extreme hoggers Joshua and Crystal White of L3 Outdoors, using dogs and a huge sword. Subscribe to Team Wild TV as we follow the North American hunting seasons in Realtree Global Hunting.